to this week's coach learning session. We're going to be looking at coach business models. So something slightly different again. We're stepping away from the actual physical coaching, the skills, the tools, the models that we use within that space. And we're going to be looking at something that's very, very important if we want to set up a successful coaching practice or a successful coaching business. And that is our business model. Not to be confused with a business plan. We'll look at that in a later session. I'll be going deep into coach business plans. Today, we are going to be focusing on business models. If you're tuned in, please say hi. Let me know you're here. Adele, I can see you tuned in. Thank you so much for your support and being here today. Anything that you want to share in the comments box for our audience, please also feed that through and I will pop it up to everybody who is tuned in. So I'm just going to give it a few more minutes to see if we can get some more coaches on board. Now, if you're a coach and you don't have a business model, then this is a session that you need to pay attention to. It's very important. If you want to succeed in business, it's not just enough getting a certification and accreditation. You need to build your business acumen and you need to understand how the business side of things works within your coaching practice, because it's the business thing that's going to drive revenue. It's the business side that's going to bring you money, that's going to pay your bills, and you need to understand how to construct an effective business model that aligns with you, your target audience, and how you want to do business. So what are we going to be looking at today? So we're going to be taking a look at what is a business model. So we're going to look at what it is and what it's not. We need to not confuse a business model with a business plan. Business plan is a lot more detailed, goes into a lot more focus, but you also need to have one of these in place if you really want to make your business successful. The second thing is the 6 key elements that you need to have in your business model. So what we're going to be doing in these 6 key elements, there's 4 questions that we need to write down and capture today and go away and think about in order to help us build our business model. So there's going to be 24 questions that you need to ask yourself. And if you don't have answers to all of these questions, then you need to take some time out to really go through these questions, because every single one of them is important if you want to succeed as a coach. We don't want people here at Coaching Minds or coaches who are watching this to be one of those coaches that think it's a great idea, they jump into coaching, and then all of a sudden, after 6 months to a year, their business fails and they're back into a corporate career or a corporate job. You need to really understand how the business side of things works so you can be successful. We'll give you the 6 key elements today and 24 questions that you need to know the answers to for your business, and only you can answer these so you can make your business a success. So first question, I can see we've got people tuned in, which is absolutely fantastic. Please don't be shy. But just to open up, I want to ask you, what does your business model currently look like? Do you have a business model? And please don't be shy, don't be ashamed if you don't have a business model developed yet. If you're just working towards understanding your coaching, you're working towards your certification, you're just working towards building actual skills and development of coaching, then that's fine. But let me know, what does your business model look like right now? Do you have it captured in a few pages? Now, a business model should cover a few pages. Do you have it written down? Is it just something you have in your head? Do you have it scattered about everywhere on your website? What does your business model currently look like? And do you have one? So just have a think and reflect on that as we go into today's session. Donna, it's great to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a business model in place. I'm sure you do. So effectively, a business model, what is it? So it is, how will our business make money? So how will your business make money? It's looking at the finances, the structure on how you are going to drive and create revenue through the services that you're offering as a coach. So it's getting us to really think deeply about how we will make money. It explores, when we go through these 6 elements and the 24 questions, it explores the best ways that we can operate to make money within our coaching services, exploring different things we can add, different value add, different services we can offer. We're pulling it all together, different packages, things like that. It explores ways, the best ways for us to make money as a coach. It helps us start to explore our target market. We talk a lot about the importance of finding our niche, But in order to find our niche, we need to first understand what the target market is, who it is that we want to coach and what they look like. And we're going to go detailed into that a little bit later on. And we need to not confuse a business model with a business plan. We need both in place, but we need it both to work separately to get to where we go. We need to put time and effort in both to really succeed. So the business model looks at how we will make money, how we will drive revenue, what are our income streams from the business. The business plan is a more detailed how we are going to do that. And there's certain elements that we need to have in a business plan, but you're looking at quite a lengthy document if you want to succeed in terms of a business plan. You're going detailed into your market research, detailed into your market analysis, details onto you have things like an executive summary in there, different ways on how you're going to reach your customers. That is a very, very detailed detailed plan that we're not going to cover today. We're just going to look at the business model, which is a separate document and something that we have that works alongside our business plan. Donna says yes, and it is regularly assessed. That's wonderful. Yep, it's very important. One of the key points that I haven't put on here, but that we need to note for today, is it's important for us to revisit our business model and adapt and change it as maybe the market evolves and things change, so we can continuously drive revenue through our business. So what are these 6 key elements? So whether you're watching this live, whether you watch it on the replay, I don't want you to answer these questions. The questions are there to get you to spark today. What I'd like you to do is just take note of them. And if you're in the Coaching Minds Hub, you're going to have access to the slides, so you can start to explore them there. If you miss a few, you can also go back, rewind the replay, or pause the replay so you can capture the key points. But you need to capture these key points and these key elements and these questions if you want to make a powerful business plan that covers everything you need to succeed. Now, if you're a Coaching Minds coach, there's good news for you. There is going to be a business model template uploaded next week into our coach library. So you'll have all this ready that will take you through developing a strong business model, so you can start to look at how you build on what you currently have. So the first element is considering how are we different from our competition. So what makes you different from the hundreds of thousands of people that are already calling themselves coaches out there? Now, this could be things like your certification, your accreditation, your background, your history, your experience, essentially your profile, your awards, all this sort of thing. Everything you've built in terms of experience sets you apart. But to go a little bit deeper in your business model, you need to look at how your coaching practice and what you're going to offer is different from what I'm offering, from what Adele's offering, from what Donna's offering, to every other coach out there. And the questions we need to think about when looking at that is, what is it that makes you different? What makes you different? Is it the way that you coach? Is it the type of people or the type of client that you coach that makes you different? Is it the tools and models that you use that are going to set you apart? Do you have an extra value, an extra service that you offer? Is there something that you're specifically focused on that is passionate for you that makes you different? So what makes you different? What do you do better than others? So when you observe and you see other coaches in practice, you see other coaches do what they're doing, what is your strength? What can you generally do that is better than others? Because this is going to help you understand how you set yourself apart. At Coaching Minds, we always talk about collaboration, and we preach collaboration, and we live by collaboration, working together and helping each other. But to make sales, we need to look at how we differ from other people. We can collaborate with different coaches, with other organizations, and still create a win-win situation by understanding how you're different from that coach, but how if you pull your strengths together, you can create something more sustainable and something absolutely fantastic. But what do you do better than others? Think about direct and indirect competitors. So what are your direct and indirect competitors? So let me explain this. Direct competitors are other coaches. Simple. Anyone who's coaching in the coaching profession is one of your competitors. You're all competing to get clients. You're all competing to learn and grow and start to take a share of that market. This is why it's also important to have a niche. I'm not going to go into detail, but when you have a niche, you go from having a small share in a 100% market to having a large chunk of a share in a very closed niche market that you defined. But indirect competitors is something we often overlook, and is also something else we need to think of, and someone else we can collaborate, and someone else we can learn from. So, for example, people who are mentors. If you're a business coach, business consultants, what are consultants offering? What are business mentors offering that you don't? So think about anybody that might be indirectly competing with you also, and how you set yourself aside and apart from other coaches, but also anybody else who might be accessible to your clients. Maybe therapists are also a coach's competition. How do you set yourself apart? Or how do you work together, come together through collaboration, and create something new and unique that coaches and therapists haven't done in the past, or coaches and consultants haven't done in the past? So what makes you different? Think about your direct and indirect competitors. And finally, what previous experience can you use? Now, if you've had a history and experience in the corporate world, whether that's in finance, whether it's in regulation, whether it's in law, whatever it is, whatever your background is, think about all the skills you've developed over those years within that career before you transitioned into this new career of being a coach, or whether it's a side hustle or whatever it is. What experience can you take that you have previously into this? What skills, knowledge can you transfer that might be able to help you set yourself apart from the others? So these are some questions to think about. The first element, which is how are you different from your competition? And this is one of the key elements of defining a business model. So Rangi, it's great to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. The next element, how much are you going to charge? The key question we always get asked by a lot of our coaches at Coaching Minds: what is a good price to charge for my service? Now, as a coach, only you can define and answer that question. You can get a rough idea. You can look at low ticket, medium ticket. You can look at high ticket, see what matches with your level of experience and your services. But ultimately, things you need to think about, the first thing I put on there is that the price of your service needs to be greater than your overall cost. And you need to think about what the cost of running your business is, and how you need to develop a model that's going to drive through revenue to pay for those costs, plus the profit, the destined profit that you want to make as part of the business. So you need to first off start by looking at your overall cost, which will include things like, what are your expenses and investments? So how much do you need to invest? Is there certain things you need to invest in? What are your expenses to run your business? Think about that. We're going to go into business finance for coaches a little bit later on in the year. But just think about, what are your expenses that are associated with your business? What's your investments? Tally this up. Do it over a month, do it over a quarter, do it over a year, whatever suits you. Do it all over all three, so you've got a clear and better picture. But look at what your expenses are going to be for the next 12 months. Broken down into quarters, broken down into months, broken down into weeks if you wish. And then look at what you need to make, what the difference between that and the profit you desire to make is, and then start to look at how you can start to price your service. How many clients will you have to coach at that price in order to get that cost? Is there a way you can cut down clients, charge them a little bit more so you can get there a little bit quicker? But bearing in mind, you need to think about fair pricing, which is also on here for your target audience. So think about, we talked about how much do you want to make. So you think about how much you want to make. You look at the difference between the two and look at how many clients you want to coach and how you're going to get there. But also think about how you charge a fair and reasonable price for your target market. You need to understand that whatever charge you're putting or fixing to your service, the clients that you're pitching it to have the money to pay you. You need to be targeting the right audience for your price. For example, you don't want to start trying to sell high-ticket clients to people who are on benefits. They're not going to have the money to pay a high-ticket price. It's not your target market. So just think about that. How do you charge fairly and reasonably for your target market? That's element 2 of the business plan. I'm going to come back to the comments. Everybody must be jotting these questions down because we've got a fair few people tuned in, but nobody coming through in the comments box. That's fine. This is an informative session rather than an engaging session. Number 3, how do you reach your clients? So as part of the business model, you need to think about how you reach your clients. And things to think about is your client profile and avatar linked to your business plan. As I mentioned, the business plan is in more depth. You're looking at a marketing plan, strategy, all that sort of stuff, market research in your business plan. But for the purposes of your business model, you need to think about your client avatar or your client profile. What does your ideal client look like? Are they women? Are they female? Are they male? Does gender not play a role in who you coach? Does that not matter? Is there a certain age range or demographics that you're looking at with certain coaches? What challenges do you help people with? Do you help people overcome anxiety? Do you help build people confidence? Do you work with teenagers? Do you work with, people who've gone through trauma? You need to think about what your client profile is, because this is going to help you reach them better. And the next question is, where are your clients spending their time? Now, a lot of us these days, we spend a lot of time on our phone, but it's understanding where on our phone that our clients are spending time. Is Instagram a good place for our potential clients? Facebook, LinkedIn? What platforms, what media are they using so you can find them and start to talk to them? And then once we've got that, we can start to think about, how do we speak to our clients? What is our client's language? How can we put our services, the value that we have to offer, and how we work in a nice way that is going to be understood and communicated well to our clients? So how do we speak to our clients? And what is the market size? And we need to be careful not to overestimate this. We can tend to overestimate and think there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that match this market size. But we need to think about, is there a big chunk? Is there a bite for these clients? Is there going to be enough of these clients and a place that I can find these to bring in enough revenue to get my business running off the ground and keep overrunning successful? So those are the questions to think about on element 3 on how do you reach your clients. Element 4, how are you going to sell? How are you going to sell? What's your method? What's your process? How are you going to bring? A lot of coaches think they can create some content on Facebook. I'll do a nice flyer. I'll put my cost on there, put a few pictures, tell them what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it out there. Then everybody's going to really love this. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to get so many likes, so many loves, so many comments, and I'm just going to have clients running through and coming through to me, and my business is going to take off the ground. And what happens is they put a post out there, no engagement. They put another post out there, no engagement, because they don't spend time thinking about how to use the platforms that they're operating from and what a sales process looks like, how they can actually generate and run sales through their business to make it successful. So let's take a look at some of the questions behind this. First one, obvious. What is your sales process? What does it look like? Do you have it? And we talked about this a little bit earlier on in terms of discovery call processes for coaches. Is it clunky? Is it easy for people to follow? Does your website have too much information, too much about you, and not enough about the clients that you help, that they're not attractive? A big mistake that a lot of coaches make out there in the industry, and I'm going to start to point some of these out, is they focus their website, they focus their content too much on themselves and how amazing they are and how everybody should draw to them and come to them because of this, because of that, and really miss the important content that needs to be tailored to the clients that they want to sell to, that they want to coach. So make your content less about you and more about the people you want to serve, and you're going to drive up potential sales. So what is your sales process? Think about it. Don't make it clunky. I'm not going to go into detail because we did a lot of detail in discovery call process. If you missed that, the replay is available in our Coaching Minds Hub. If you don't know how to get there, drop me a message. I'll give you a link. There's also a link and a QR code at the end of this session. But think about your sales process. How do you invoke the right emotions in your clients? Now, selling is all about emotion. You need to give your clients the right emotion that's going to make them feel they want to be buying from you and they're going to start to, and they want your service. They want what you're offering. So what is it, what type of emotions do you want to invoke? Do you want to empower and inspire them? Do you want to give inspiring emotions and excitement to work with you because you want to help them achieve their goals? Do you want to invoke emotions that are going to be psychologically safe and comfort them because you're helping people who have gone through trauma? Different energy that you need to put out there to attract people who are going through trauma and to help them. Inspiring, yes, but different form of energy. How do you invoke these emotions through the way in which you do your content and put yourself out there, both on your website, on your social media, and whenever you're engaging with an audience? And then how do you tie in your services to the client's needs? Again, a big problem, a big no-no that a lot of coaches fall into the trap of is they want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about that they did this has done that, my service will do this, my service will do that, I can do this, I can do that. They make all these promises to try and tie someone in without actually taking a step back, listening to what the client wants, listening to the client's needs, and then nicely knitting those clients' needs to the services so you can get a nice match and you can understand how you can work together to help the client get what they need and then also to drive a sale in your business. And then finally, how will you build your brand? You need to start to think about your brand. You need to start to understand that there's a big difference between marketing and branding. And whilst both are very important, you have very different methods and ways in which we can build them, different ways in which we can approach them. So you need to understand how you build your brand. What is your brand going to look like? What emotions is your brand going to invoke through the colors, through your logo, through the way in which you talk to your audience? Everything we've been talking about links to brand here. To your font, to the way you hold yourself. Essentially, you become your brand if you're a coach. We're going to talk a lot about branding in April. We're going to be coming together with a 30-day task every single day brand challenge so you can build your brand throughout April. Keep an eye out for that. But that is element 4 of your business model. How are you going to sell? You need to be able to answer all these questions. I'm going to come back to the comments. Donna is saying, research if you have the legal credentials to coach these clients, and if not, what you need to put in place to do so. So Donna, that wouldn't actually fall under a business model, that would fall under the business plan. So as I mentioned earlier on at the beginning, the business plan is a lot more in depth, and that's where you cover your market research, you look at your legal credentials, unless you're talking and that is a little bit delayed and you're sharing that some way you can set yourselves apart. But I doubt that because you should also have legal credentials and everything in place anyway if you're coaching out in the market. So that will all go under the business plan, which should be a lengthy document. Everybody should have a lengthy document. So that's thinking about your customer, your legal things, everything you need in place, and how you can actually deliver your service. That's on the business plan. When it looks at the business model, it's all about how we're going to generate revenue, how we're going to make money from our business idea, from what the services that we're going to offer, and how, in this sense, how we're going to use this in coaching. And if you're tuned in and you're not a coach, these will still work. Apply it to your new startup business. Apply it to whatever it is you're doing. You still need to ask yourself these questions. Element 5, how are you going to deliver the service? So clients are coming through, they've signed up to you. How are you actually going to deliver that service? So let's take a look at some of the questions here. What does your service look like? So getting into a bit of thought, and again, not into depth because the depth comes in the business plan, but in order to generate revenue and to generate income, you need to think about the service that you're going to be delivering. So what does that look like? How are you going to, is it all online? Is it online, offline? Is there a package? How does your service look like? Is it through Zoom? Is it through Teams? Do you have certain models and certain structures that you have that you like to bring into sessions with clients? What does this service actually look like? What value will the clients receive from that service? So what are you going to be helping clients with? It's great as a coach to say, I can help you get from A to B. I can help you overcome your challenges and your problems. But that doesn't tell a client much at all. The client wants to know that and have the confidence in you that you can help them overcome their challenge, not just generic challenges. So you need to be able, again, it's going back to what we were talking about earlier, speak to them in a way by showing them you understand their problems, show them you have the confidence to overcome them yourself, and that you have the confidence to help them overcome them as well. So you need to think about what value will your clients receive? What added value are you going to give? Nowadays, everything's online. A lot of things are online. Most things are online. There's so many different creative ways in which we can add extra value to our coaching. The Coaching Minds, we are trying to inspire our coaches to develop and jump on board with their AI-powered coaching rooms, because that is a value-added piece that other coaches don't have in the industry. I think we're the only organization that have these AI-powered coaching rooms. That's going to set you apart. And what that is it allows you to run and explore a community in between the sessions with your client. It allows you to provide a space for your clients that they feel part of between their sessions. They can engage with people who are going through the same challenges, who are going through the same problems, who are going through similar issues, and they can engage. You can do maybe group sessions in there. You can set up different things. You can set up a program alongside that. What is the added value you're going to have alongside your one-to-one coaching? And our AI-powered coaching rooms now also, for any of our coaches that are tuned in, allow you to create and gift badges, electronic badges, annexed to their profiles for certain tasks, challenges, or courses, or things that they do within your coaching room. And then you can say, right, they're award badges to keep them engaged, to keep them structured, to keep them as a sense of community, and to help them overcome their problems. So what added value can you offer as a coach? Again, linking back to how you're going to set yourself apart. And when you think about delivering your service, it's not just thinking about during the session and how you're going to show up as a coach. You need to think before, after, and during. What does your service look like before they even get in the room? Again, it's going back to your sales process. How do you make that so smooth, so attractive, so great that people want to work with you? How do you then follow up by delivering a wonderful coaching session that unlocks your clients' aha moments, gets them moving forward, helps them achieve their goals? And then what do you do afterwards to follow up with that in terms of your professionalism, with an email, with engaging, with your actions, with their actions, with your accountability functionality? How do you follow up with that? What does that service piece look like? And then finally, the sixth element, so that's element 5, which was how are you going to sell? The sixth element is what are you going to do to ensure your clients come back to you? So what are you going to do to ensure your clients come back to you? So I'm going to come back to the comments before I go into a little bit more depth of this. So Donna that's the same one I've said from before. So again, we're quite quiet, but I'll come back into this here. So what are you going to do to ensure your clients come back? So first of all, how do you build a good relationship with your client? How do you build that relationship? Before, during the discovery sessions, during the session? How do you make sure you deliver what you promise, what you've promised them as your service, so they want to come back with you? So when they actually leave and the contracts come to an end, they want to sign up to more sessions with a different challenge, or they want to keep your number and keep you in mind for future when they want to come back and get coaching on something different. So how do you build a good relationship with your clients? You need to consciously think about that. The second thing is, how can you gain referrals? So what do you put in place where you can work with your clients so they can refer somebody else to you? The best form of business and growth is word of mouth. Having other people tell others how good your service is better than you telling others how good your service is. Next is, how will you collect testimonials or reviews? Think about this in detail. How are you going to collect testimonials or reviews? And you can have this at the beginning. You can ask your client during any part of that service. Do you mind, if you're enjoying this service, if you're getting a good service, you're happy with what I'm providing to you, do you mind just doing me a testimonial? And a little bit of advice, try and get a video testimonial, or actually go live with that client so people can see that energy and feel that it's authentically coming from them. Everybody's losing trust in the coaching profession right now, and the motivational speaking profession right now, because too many people are just creating fake testimonials, fake reviews. Anybody can get an artificial intelligence picture, write a amazing write-up about them, and post it out there somewhere. Everybody can have that on their website. People can get their best friend to say how amazing they are, or a family member to say how amazing they are. Having people actually step up on video boosts the authenticity of the testimonial, and really helps with you starting to attract more people to your business. Remember, it's better to have other people say how great you are in your service than you saying it yourself. And then finally, you need to think about how will you improve and build your service. So in order for clients to come back, you need to iron out any hiccups. If your service is not to the standard that is what you've promised or to the expectations of your client, then you need to think about how you can improve that service. You can ask for feedback. You need to be humble. You need to realize how you can learn and how you can grow. By asking that, you can then make the necessary amendments you need to ensure that that client comes back. You know, if there's a mistake, we see this all the time in business. Good businesses, if they make a mistake, if they fuck up in any way, they'll offer you something out of the ordinary as a goodwill gesture to keep that relationship intact. You as a coach also need to own up to the mistakes that you make and think about your service so that a client will come back if you're making those errors. So think about how you can grow and improve. And then from all of this, those are the 24 questions you want to write down, you want to have answers to, you want to think about, you want to work towards as part of your business model. And in terms of actions, you need to watch this back, note down these questions. This is my recommendation to you. Take half a day out of your schedule. Yes, we're all busy. We have lots of stuff to do where we've got this, we've got that, we need to build this, we need to do that. I'm not here for excuses. I don't care. If you want to make your business successful, the business model and the business plan are the two key areas that are going to help you succeed. If you don't have these in place, then you might as well not even try and coach at all. So you need a business model and a business plan in place. So take half a day because these are really important. Answer all these questions in detail and define your business model. And from that, you can then develop into your marketing plan, into building your brand. You can develop a project, you develop tasks that you need to have in place, things you need to stretch and go, and start to build the business from there. And even if you have something in place, you have a business model in place, if you're struggling at all to get clients, to get your business moving, to move forward, then I suggest you take this as a moment to temperature check your business model. Is it working? Go back, review, see if there's anything you've missing from what we talked about today. Is your pricing right, for example? Are you attracting the right clients? Are you speaking the right language? Think about all of this and amend your business model so then you can step back out, try again, and get more clients in your business. We really want to see our coaches succeed. So any help that you need, if you're a Coaching Minds coach, any help that you need, any questions that you have on any of this, please drop it in our coach community and we will get back to each and every one of you. And I just want to say on that note, a huge thank you to everybody who's tuned in and watched this. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for taking your time. If you've enjoyed this and you're not part of Coaching Minds, you can join us at hub.coachingminds.co.uk. You have a coach learning session every week, every Thursday, where you can learn, connect, and grow. You can catch all the replays in there. If you're on a desktop, scan the QR code. If not, type in hub.coachingminds.co.uk. Start connecting with us and learn how you can grow and develop your coaching practice. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. If there's any questions, please drop it. I can see that Donna is saying thank you. But if there's any questions, just drop them in the comments box below wherever you're watching this, and I will get back to you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Good night.